Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, could you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out. Let's get to it. Our first story comes from Moist Toe Cakes. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I don't care that he might have a degenerative disease? My husband, age 35, has been complaining about muscles in one of his arms twitching for a week. And he is convinced he has ALS. He came home from work today and said his mouth was salivating more than usual, and informed me that's a symptom of ALS. When he first told me he was concerned, my immediate reaction was, obviously, fear and concern. So I asked him if he would please call a doctor the next day. He jumped down my throat for not having any sympathy, so I shut up and walked away. He has a history of complaining about his health and not doing anything about it. He complained about groin pain for the first 10 years of our relationship. And I got sick of hearing about it every time he complained. I would ask if he had called a doctor yet. The answer was always no. We were on a hiking trip 3 years ago when we got back to the cabin. He was lying on the sofa and said he felt a bulge in his groin. I immediately knew it was a hernia and told him to make an appointment ASAP. It took a while while holding intercourse before he would finally go to a doctor, where he was diagnosed with massive bilateral hernias. So yeah, my sympathy for his health complaints is gone. I feel like he should seek the advice and guidance of a medical professional. If he thinks something is very wrong, because I'm far as from being in the medical field as one can get. I've tried making his appointments for him in the past, but either just won't go, or he would cancel them. Back to the ALS concern, tonight when he got home and informed me about his watery mouth, I asked him if he had called our healthcare provider today. He said no. I calmly asked him why not, and then said I was concerned that he thought he had a serious degenerative disease, but wouldn't do anything about it. An argument ensued, and he called me see you next Tuesday for not having any sympathy for his ailments. I told him I really didn't care if he thought he had a serious disease. What I do care about is if he has a serious disease. Knowing that, we'll tackle it once there's a diagnosis. I'm not remotely interested in coddling his hypochondria. So, am I the beehole for telling my husband I don't care he might have a degenerative disease? Because he won't seek medical help? Update. He just called to tell me he was leaving the doctor's office. He called this morning and they surprise had an appointment. Doc thinks it's post-CVID symptoms, but is running a complete blood panel just in case. He's getting his blood drawn tomorrow. I do think he needs to seek therapy for medical and maybe generalized anxiety, because this is such a pattern, and it shouldn't get to this point before he's willing to seek help. Hi, you are not the beehole on this one. It sounds like your husband is just seeking attention for having a sickness. And if he does go to, the doctor and they find out he doesn't have a sickness, he can't get that, that attention and sympathy from you. Honestly, the next time he tries to do this, call the ambulance. It's kind of like when people are going to say they're going to free themselves from their mortal coil on this earth, and then you call them on it because they just want attention. It seems like that sort of thing. Our next story comes from user wedding dress in the ATT. Am I the a-hole for going through my friend's closet to find my wedding dress? 2 years ago, my husband and I were doing some renovations to our house. I didn't want my wedding dress to get damaged or lost in the process, which, considering we did lose a few things during the renovation, I was right to be concerned. My friend offered to keep it in her closet until the renovations were done. After we finished the renovations, I asked my friend for the dress back. She kept saying she'd get back to me. I kept asking and she made up excuses. I found it weird. Now, my sister is getting married and she wanted to wear the dress. This was our mother's dress, and we always agreed we'd each wear it. I told my friend I need it back. She claimed she couldn't find it. I was perplexed because how does it get up and walk away? She apologized and offered to pay me the cost of the dress, which I turned down because it wasn't about the money. The dress was sentimental, and I felt terrible my sister couldn't wear it. My friend and her husband went away. I was there to water the plants and feed their dogs. I decided to go look for myself. The closet was very cluttered. I eventually found the dress. I can totally believe that she missed where it was and she wasn't being malicious in the slightest. The box was tucked behind a few larger ones containing seasonal clothes. I texted her saying I found the dress. Instead of being happy for me, she asked why I was rummaging through her closet. I said I just wanted to double check. She told me I had no right to go through her things. I said that because of her clutter, my sister almost didn't get to wear the dress she always dreamed of. My friend told me that I could have asked her to look for it again, but I pointed out it took 2 years for her to even look in the first place. Am I the beehole? You told her you found the dress, and then she immediately knew where the dress was because she said she was mad that you looked through her closet. And she offered to pay you the money for the dress. You, my friend, are way too trusting of people. It absolutely sounds like she was trying to, steal or keep your dress. Maybe not steal because she was trying to pay you the money for it. But I know if someone gives me something important to watch or keep for them, I put it somewhere safe and I know exactly where it is. Why would she take something that she's only holding for you for a while and tuck it way in the back of her closet? She was trying to keep your dress. I remember stuff like this happened when I was a kid. I let my friend borrow a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3. Every time I asked for him to give it back to me because it's been a while, he always made up some excuse and would start ducking and dodging me. Sounds kind of familiar, right? That's not your friend. Oh, and I can't remember if I said it, but no, you are not the beehole. You just took back your property. Our next story comes from Committee Leaving 4350. Am I the beehole for respecting my husband's ex-wife and having nothing to do with their children? I am 38. I met my husband 4 years after his divorce from his ex-wife. She stalked me during the time we were dating and became a problem. She literally wanted to make sure I have nothing to do with their 3 kids who are teenagers, so naturally, I respect the bio mom's wishes. I do not speak to the kids when they come home. I do not spend money on them for the holidays. They don't speak to me. I do help my husband if he needs help financially to get something for them, and if he needs to rearrange plans. I definitely help him, but other than that, not my kids, not my problem. Example, several months ago, the youngest boy needed to be picked up from school, and shower and then taken back to school. My husband had to work late, and the ex-wife didn't want to drive 40 minutes back to pick him up, take him home to shower, and then back to school. She called my husband and asked if I was home, and she would just take him there. He told her no, and that I had plans after work, which I needed to go take care of before coming home. She sent me a message stating that there was no reason why I can't help out and get her son taken care of. I reminded her of her request not to have anything to do with their kids, and therefore, not my problem. She went on and on about how I didn't contribute to the kids' needs and I don't spend money on them. But I can spend money on my husband's first child with another woman. I explained to her that his first wife and family doesn't treat me like garbage. And I have a relationship with his oldest son, so, therefore, yes, I will do for them when they need me. I have respected her wishes and do not get involved in anything related to her kids, and now she's mad because she needs me to do something. Let me just add this. His kids were told by their mother that I was the reason that they're not back together, so the kids have nothing to do with me. Why should I make the effort? Hi, OP. Sounds like you are not the beehole on this one. It also sounds like that woman's an evil ghoul. She's acting the way she does and she expects you to help her out. No, you're respecting her wishes. I think you're doing a great thing by, doing just that. And also, you're the reason why her and her husband are not back together. And she's telling you that to the kids and she's wondering why you guys don't get along or talk with the kids or anything like that. She's the reason why they didn't get back together. They've been divorced for 3 years. If something was going to happen, it was going to happen in 3 years. And you explained to her why you have a good relationship with your husband's eldest child, because, they don't treat you like garbage. The only way she would ever get that treatment, or if you want to give her that treatment, is if she apologized, set it straight with her kids, and then maybe you guys can move on. But still, And our next one comes from Yard No 5847. Am I the beehole for telling my daughter I told you so and I'm not fixing it even though it will cost her thousands to fix? My son pointed me to this website. I have a 26-year-old daughter named Ava. We helped her put a down payment on the house and she's changing things in the home. I have told her so many times to hire a professional if it's not a DIY project. I have had to fix so many projects and put my foot down telling her I will not help from now on. Ava mentioned changing the tile in the bathroom, and I told her she should hire someone for that if she isn't using the stick-on tile. Well, she went and tried to do it on her own, and she made a huge mess of the bathroom. She called me up and asked if I could fix this. I told her, I told you so. We've had to do this dance way too many times. And she needs to hire someone to fix it. She told me it'll cost her thousands to fix, and I could do it. I told her no again, and she called me a jerk. Now she has a messed up bathroom since she needs to save up for someone to fix it, and she thinks I'm a jerk. Hi, OP. No, you are not the beehole. You told her what would happen, and you followed through on it. She has to learn her actions have consequences. And hopefully, after going through this, she'll remember this and make wiser decisions in the future. Our next one comes from prestigious Swim 4924. Am I the beehole for telling my wife that my son will always come before her? My 32-year-old male wife, a 30-year-old female, is concerned over our financial situation. I think her concern is misplaced, but I told her my income isn't going to change anytime soon. So I asked her what we wanted to do about it. She suggested that when my son, she is his stepmother, turns 18, we should start charging him rent. I immediately shut down that idea and told her we would have to think about something else. Because there's no way I'm charging my son to live in our house. She said it was reasonable since I was paying most of his college tuition. But I told her there were alternatives. I suggested we stop eating out so much. Because it's $50 to $100 per meal, but she didn't like that idea. I suggested other things, which she rejected, so I told her I'm open to suggestions. But my son isn't going to be our source of income. She told me I should think more of her than my son. That made me a little mad, so I told her my son will always come before her. She called me a beehole after that and hasn't talked to me since. Did I overstep? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole, and no, you did not overstep. A parent's job is to help and prioritize their child and give them the best life you can. I know if my parents started immediately charging me rent as soon as I hit 18, things would have been tough for me. If she's so worried about the finances and, wants money out of your child, maybe she should go get a job. Or, better yet, tell her when he turns 18, you're going to start charging her for rent. Because she's been living in your house and you've been paying all the bills. She's kind of freeloading right now, right? I'm just saying, she should take a step back and look at herself. And OP, you are a good father. Keep protecting your child and giving him the best life you can give him. Alright, everybody, we've come to the end of this one. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out. Velvet out.